Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer, and thanks, Minister, for your statement this afternoon. It's good that there is a Welsh Government plan for the valleys, but of course we do need to ensure that it is an effective one. And there does seem to be a measure of scepticism in various sectors of the Chamber so far, and we do have a lack of detail. And of course you are hampered by the historic problem of the relative failure, or the perceived relative failure, of previous Valleys initiatives. So I wish you luck with this one, and of course I think we all hope that it can yield some success, but we need to have some more detail about what you're trying to do, and of course we await the delivery plan in the autumn. Jobs are going to be crucial, as has become clear from what we've been debating today. Now, you've hinted at the creation of possibly thousands of jobs, which is a tantalising prospect, but we don't know much about how these jobs are going to be created, so I'd be interested if you could tell us a little bit more about what tools you'll be using in this job creation scheme. If there's going to be more relocation of public sector jobs to the valleys, could you give us any more information about that? One of the previous speakers also asked about interaction with the private sector. Yes, we do need to make sure that there are jobs located in the valleys themselves, not just in the city region as a whole. So have you any more to say about that? Specifically, what tools could you use? Will there be recruitment or training grants on offer for firms employing local people? Will there be anything relating to sector-specific training? That's another possibility. And you talked about the issue of promoting tourism by promoting the natural beauty of the valleys, which is an aspect that's often overlooked. You've talked about the landscape park, for instance. So is there any more you can tell us about that specifically this afternoon? Thank you.
We do want to ensure that we have a number of different tools available to us to stimulate economic activity and to create work and to create jobs. And as I said in answer to an earlier question, to create not just jobs but careers in the valleys. We've outlined an approach which is to ensure that we use not only the metro but other travel routes as well as the spines, if you like, within the valleys, and to ensure that we have locations along those different transport links where we can focus in on individual sites and individual places, and to create strategic hubs that can lead in themselves to the potential for growth and for jobs to be created in those locations in the valleys region. At the same time, we will be continuing to invest in the foundational economy and in the local economies to ensure that we do have investment in local entrepreneurs, local businesses, local jobs and local companies. So we will be using tools such as those in order to stimulate and create economic activity within the valleys. Our objective is to close the gap between the valleys and the rest of Wales over the coming years, and we will put forward a plan and a timescale as how we see that happening. In terms of a landscape park, this is what I believe to be a really exciting opportunity for us to appreciate and value the valleys in a way that perhaps we haven't always done so in the past. I want it to be a regional park concept which will stretch from the British in my friend's constituency in Torfaen across to the west and to Carmarthenshire in the west. To somewhere where we can appreciate and value all the different landscapes and places within the valleys. I spent time with my colleague Di Rees at different times in the Avon Valley. I know there are plans to invest in to maximise the value of that landscape there. But I also know from my own personal experience of living in the valleys that we do want to get up on the tops in the commons to explore and to understand the history, or not just the history of industrialisation, but the history before industrialisation that we have in the valleys and the heritage that we have available to us. And to not only ensure that we have a tourism offer, if you like, for people from elsewhere, but also for ourselves. And we can value and appreciate the places in which we live and learn again the history of industrialisation in the valleys. I know I spent some time as a young man, and even today up in Trevor, the quarries there, the limestone quarries above Tredegar, and also then following the tramway down bring ore into Talabont and elsewhere, the linkages that were created before we had the M4s and the railways of this world. So I hope that we'll be able to do that. I hope that that will be an exciting and transformational project, and one which will not simply transform the valleys, but the lives of people who live there.